Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. Now, I know that it is only October, and I realize that the H-1B window does not open until April. However, it does take time to properly prepare an H-1B. There's lots of different parts to it. It is not just a cookie cutter, press a couple buttons, print it out, and so forth. There's the attorney cover letter, the LCA, the prevailing wage, the necessary forms, the supporting letters, the necessary research to determine the position itself, in the attorney cover letter, the necessary research in order to make certain that it is H-1B caliber and what the cases are. There's been lots of times where, for example, somebody got an H-1B in the past and it was later denied, and they said, well, you guys approved it before for this position. Well, things change, case law changes, rules change, and so each time it needs to be properly done and properly investigated. This is why, a lot of times when you get these companies that they'll push out an H-1B in a day and a half, you might want to consider going elsewhere to make sure that it's done properly, because it is very individualized. Now, the issue, as you know, is that there's only, for regular H-1Bs, 65,000 positions available, which actually there's less than that because they subtract the Singaporean H-1Bs and the Chilean H-1Bs, so that puts it at less. And then there's the advanced degree H-1Bs, which that will actually allow 20,000 more for those with master's degrees or higher, which require the use of those master degrees in order to do the position. But if you more or less start about now, then you're not rushing. We get the whole thing properly done. We can revise it and edit it and make it look real pretty and make the chances of provability better. And then, we get it in the FedEx envelope, and once it's ready to be sent, come the very beginning of April, we make sure it gets there. And then, of course, it is a lottery. So you might have to have option number 2 in mind just in case, because you could have the strongest H-1B petition on the planet. But if you're, for example, one of the 250 or 300,000 that send in for only, 55,000 or so positions, then you would be able to, you know, at least understand that without any adjudicating at all, they basically just pick, those numbers off the shelf and the rest of them get returned. So if you're going to go forward with it, make sure it's done right, make sure it's done early. A lot of times, people will come to me and they'll say, well, I have a college degree, I qualify for an H-1B. Well, that's not really true, because not all positions require the use of a college degree. For example, a lot of case law on managers, sales managers and so forth, they don't require college degrees. Nurses, I understand the majority of nurses do have college degrees, but they're not H-1B caliber. And so there's also the issue of the position itself. And I'll exaggerate. Let's say you have a aerospace engineering degree and you get a job as a receptionist. Okay, you cannot say that because you have the job as an aerospace, or the degree as an aerospace engineer, that a receptionist position will qualify for H-1B. The position itself has to be linked to the degree in order to qualify. And then, of course, there's the prevailing wage. That's a big issue. So if the company's only willing to pay so much, we find out what the prevailing wage is. We then lower your hours. So, if you can only work 6.5 hours at what they're willing to pay you when the prevailing wage comes in, then that's what it is. Okay. And then maybe the time after it'll be different. Okay. So that's the rundown on the H-1B, a little heads up. Don't wait too long. Give my office a call if you want to go forward. Mark the video like or subscribe, and more on the coming videos. Thank you.